What's never gonna be the same after this pandemic? Work. Many office jobs will be done remotely. Businesses will see that they no longer need giant buildings and parking structures to support work that basically amounts to a few emails and some Excel or Word docs. Calling in sick will become calling in via Google Hangouts crying, "No, no, no." I think we'll value the time spent in person with family and friends a whole lot more. I haven't seen my parents or siblings or nieces or nephews since Christmas and likely won't until if this whole thing mercifully ends. I daydream all the time about what it will be like to see them all again. I surely won't be squandering that time distracted by scrolling through social media on my stupid phone. Coming from a person who has been trapped with siblings for months because my parents both are essential workers. Trust me, I'm going to appreciate the time we have together later, but I will appreciate being able to be away from them even more. Seconded. I can't wait until I have the house to myself after school again. Remote work will be more mainstream, so needing to live close to work will no longer be as desirable, causing inflated home prices in major tech metro areas to deflate. Home delivery services like Amazon and Instacart will mean less time spent shopping. Malls, which were already on the decline, will start closing down completely. Business travel will decline as virtual meetings become normal. Housing with home offices, video production studios and high-speed internet will be important selling features. Yes, the pandemic has made this very clear that many of activities that require you to go outside are non-essential. Technology has grown up to fill that gap very well. I think technology will play a big role in this transition. Can anyone imagine what would have happened if this thing arrived 10 or 15 years ago? The Western world would be torpedoed. My sleep schedule. Buffets. Before the pandemic, I could go to an upscale buffet and tell myself everybody else was being hygienic. I love buffet, but I will never eat at a buffet again in my life. School. One of my teachers died and he had a big impact on how I see the world. So going back is gonna be hard. My social life. 2020 was not a good year to be getting started in a new city. My best friend moved to London from the US at the end of February. And I have never been so thankful for pets being able to move internationally. Her cat is saving her life. Hopefully the view of the work week. 4-day weeks are overdue, and having the permanent option to work from home 1 or 2 days should be a thing. Not gonna happen soon though. It kills me that we only get 2 measly days of downtime out of 7. JCPenney's is legit about to go under. There's a lot of brick and mortar stores that could disappear by this time next year. Sears, Bed Bath & Beyond, Macy's, Best Buy. Malls are going to empty of most of their anchor retailers. Emphasis on healthcare in politics, especially in third world countries. Even just focus on other countries' healthcare in general. Like, no offense, but currently the USA is a risk to the rest of the world. That's not a third world country. Yeah, but there is a portion of our population that have manipulated election districts, campaign finance, and office terms in such a way that they can stay in power and rally a portion of the population using disinformation and extremist fanatical propaganda to win elections even when most people don't want them in control of the country. They have corrupted the judicial system to the point where they can do whatever they want with impunity while locking up large portions of the population and stripping them of their right to vote and have a say in how we are governed. The wealthy can basically legally buy politicians that have no scruples to further their own agendas at the cost of public health, safety, individual rights, and happiness. These same folks have a stake in the media outlets and use that to drive news cycles in favor of their politicians, which lets them dictate the narrative. This is how you get an idiot like Trump in power and keep him there. Trump's only focus has not been his duties as a public servant, but rather to get re-elected. He does this by blaming anyone else for the problems he causes rather than solving them. When COVID hit, he has been focused on trying to divert the responsibility to China. People backed him up to the point where even now there are some that believe it is a hoax. Most Americans are outraged by how everything is playing out. In the primaries, the primary concern of most voters polled was healthcare. Even before COVID. The only problem with that is the one guy who wanted universal healthcare for all, didn't win the election because the narrative playing out in the news had people worried that he wouldn't be elected when it came down to Trump and the Democratic candidate. People are sick of this cycle, but if they do try to vote for meaningful permanent change that will improve our lives, they know that it actually improves the odds for the people who are ruining the USA. That is why Biden won the nomination by default, even tough he represents more of the same thing we had in the past. The point is the conversation on healthcare got lost in the white noise of countless scandals and the focus was shifted to other countries. Not 100% sure, but graduations. My sister had a reduced and socially distant ceremony, and after your child's name was called, you were allowed to leave. Do you honestly think that when the restrictions get lifted, people are going to want to sit through all 200+ names? Oh my god. That sounds amazing. For the Aardvark family, yes. Poor old Xiaozhong will still have to stay the whole time and get no applause. For me, I feel like even if there's a vaccine and the virus is wiped out, the world will still be at a loss. There will always be that feeling or memory of the time when the world shut down and irreplaceable people died. Hate to be this guy, but families of those who have died will never be the same. Nightclubs. I don't ever see myself wanting to be around that many people in an enclosed space. Same with concerts. I love concerts and festivals. I honestly don't know that I will ever go to another one. My anxiety through all this has helped in now being so turned off at the thought of going to a concert. My relationship with my friends. It's all f***ed up now. Nothing. We'll forget. Plagues. Spanish flu. Smallpox. Polio all happened. I doubt the people who lived through them forgot. Did you forget the Great Recession? I know I haven't. My grandparents never forgot World War II. My dad never forgot Vietnam. My mom never forgot Quaaludes. This will forever change how people interact with strangers. School. Yep. We teach in overcrowded germ factories. And a lot of experienced teachers are retiring this year if they can, rather than dealing with this shit. And something like 50% of teachers leave the field entirely within the first 5 years. The overall demographic of teachers is going to shift this year, I think. Yep. Which sucks. Because I still go to school and I've never really appreciated why we had it. I really hope they will find a way to bring back schools in a more modern fashion. People flying for business. I'm a FA, so air travel is so different this year. Flight attendant. What is the job outlook for them after the pandemic is over due to decreased flight? Casually enjoying a nice bat soup. Or pangolin steak tartare. There is an after this pandemic? If we had all stayed home and taken it seriously, this virus would be essentially eradicated now. Instead, we'll probably have it forever now. Even with vaccines, the anti-vaxxers will keep it going. Blowing out birthday candles. Because you can't have a birthday when you're dead. Spin the bottle. Instead of kissing, we're just going to make finger guns at each other. Ah yes, the bisexual version. As I bisexual, I agree with this statement. America's reputation. That ship sailed a long time ago. Seriously. I used to dream of moving to NYC from London. Now, I'm really not so sure. Not sure how widespread this is, but the local universities, US, are starting fall semester earlier, August. Then, when students leave for Thanksgiving break, they do not return until spring semester starts in Jan. They don't want students to interact with so many people from all over during the long Thanksgiving weekend, then return to spread anything. Plus, those who have to travel far don't have to return for the short time frame between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Seems like a long-term beneficial shift for all. That should be considered permanent. Similar to the year-round schooling. The big chunk of summer break is slimmed down. I hate this. I want to be home and out of school when the weather is nice. Not when my face hurts if I go outside. Summer break isn't a break for everyone. Lots of people use it to, be able to afford to go to school in the fall. Saying this is a beneficial change for all is not even close to true. Trust. I trust my husband and our son. I no longer trust anyone on my side of the family. His side, every last one of them cares more about health than my family. His side, masks and Zoom. My side, begging us to travel. 0 masks. And constantly criticizing my worries. My mental health. Movie theaters will be a thing of the past with new movies released to streaming platforms. I don't want these to go because I really enjoyed the atmosphere and experience of going to a theater. eagerly awaiting the day I can go back. Watching movies at home is just not the same experience for me. There's a local theater and cinema near me in Boston that is over 100 years old. Its marquee says, "For the second time in our history." Closed due to flu pandemic. It also closed during the Spanish flu. It survived one. Seems like it could survive another. Physical contact as a form of greeting one another. I think this will come back quickly post-vaccine. My social life. I don't have one now, and I don't think that's going to bode well for me when I have to go outside. We're going to have to learn how to be social all over again. The frequency at which I wash my hands. I didn't do it nearly often enough. I think physical contact will never be the same. People will keep their distance to one another. But some change I really hope will happen is that when someone is ill, they will wear a mask to protect the people around them, especially elders. Tiger sanctuaries. One good thing I hope comes from this is a common practice of masks during flu season. I've come to realize that unless I'm eating, drinking, exercising outside, I have absolutely no issue having a mask on. Yeah, same. I feel like it's actually not that bad, and I can see the benefits of it in terms dealing with allergies and preventing other illnesses. Hopefully. The 5 days in the office work week. Now the office is home. So 7-day work weeks at the office. Always. As a buffet lover, buffets will be gone if they aren't already. Could still have the employees serve you, but it's not the same. My fatness. I predict the population of cities will change. Everyone says working from home will be big. Missing the point that with more people WFH, less need to live so close to the central business district. With less people buying from physical stores and more buying online with shipping to their door. Why would you need to live in a big city with lots of shops? Cities will get smaller and regional towns get bigger. I agree. This is most likely the rise of techo-ruralism, which, I for one, am very much looking forward to. Lack of space on planes. Hopefully. This sadly sounds unlikely. Blowing on candles on birthday cake. Kissing on cheeks as greetings, touching railings and boundaries in public, comfortably eating street food, eating without washing hands, people sharing their food, close ones of people who lost their lives due to corona or economy issues. The world. My look on the economy. I hope the economy picks back up at some point. I know it recovered a bunch since the late March fall. I bumped my 401k contribution to 12% when the crash happened. Which is the most I feel I can comfortably contribute. I will probably keep it there as well when this whole thing settles. The markets recovered, but the economy still looks like shit. At this rate my inbox will never be the same.